OpenText Core software composition analysis helps teams automate policy enforcement, assess risk, review licenses, export data, and evaluate open-source project health. OpenText Core software composition analysis, or OpenText SCA, integrates with any Git-based repository. Out-of-the-box templates are available for most popular repository managers, including GitHub, GitLab, Azure DevOps, and Bitbucket. The integration uses a self-contained command line interface binary, making it easy to set up in almost any environment. Once a repository is integrated, the web application provides actionable visibility into vulnerabilities, dependencies, open-source licenses, and related risk data. From that point on, the information is automatically updated based on policies and events such as code changes. OpenText SCA includes a flexible policy engine for creating automation rules across integrated repositories. These policies are evaluated during scans to help enforce repository requirements automatically. For example, a policy can define checks such as blocking certain licenses or preventing vulnerable dependencies above a defined level of risk or severity from being introduced. Once saved, the policy automatically enforces the selected action, such as failing the pipeline when those conditions are met. OpenText SCA vulnerability triage begins in the repository's vulnerabilities view. From here, teams can review and prioritize issues using filters such as CVSS scores, reachability path, and exploit status. In this example, we will focus on reachability data and choose a vulnerability. This gives us more information about the vulnerability and shows how it affects the repository. Here, we can see that the vulnerability is introduced through a transitive dependency, and OpenText SCA provides information about which direct dependency needs to be updated for this vulnerability to be fixed. In the reachability analysis, you can see how the reachable part of the code is being accessed. The reachability analysis shows whether the vulnerable function is actually used by the code, helping teams focus on issues that are more likely to matter in practice. OpenText SCA supports detecting open-source licenses and reviewing or overriding detected licenses. For example, in cases where the user has acquired a commercial license for an open-source library, it is possible to change the license resolution in the UI. Another common situation is when multiple licenses are detected, but not all of them really apply. Dual licensing is one example of this, and users can change or remove licenses that do not apply. It also provides information about the source of the license data to make these types of reviews easier. OpenText SCA supports a number of ways to extract or export data. First, there's a REST API that can be used for any purpose. Second, any table can be easily exported in spreadsheet format. Third, the data for any repository can be exported as either a CycloneDX or SPDX SBOM file. OpenText Open Source Select provides information about the health of any open source project. Examples include how well maintained the project is and the level of security practices observed within the maintaining community. It helps users find open source projects or dependencies that meet their organization's requirements. Users can access metrics for any given project and also view that project through the lens of any SCA policy. As a result, it is easy to determine whether it meets requirements or would trigger pipeline warnings and errors. The same information is available in the OpenText SCA UI itself, as well as through browser plugins that display the same data as an overlay when accessing external project home pages or package registries.